And I mean, that's
It's
the
true.
best thing about this thing is all the wonderful people that like I was joking before, but I mean, it started out one by one, and Prince had it. We could tell Rick James stories, right, Jill? I mean, we could have some
Yeah,
fun.
exactly.
Oh
Yeah.
All day long, we could tell Rick.
Yeah, this is an important group of people to share a voice that's not here, and I'm sure
We're
that
live.
he have something big to say. So we're here for him.
It's funny.
Hey, everybody.
I wonder.
No, he
We're
probably
live.
have a lot
We're
to
live.
say.
Everybody.
Live.
Catherine, are you there?
Live.
I'm here. Oh, in the darkness. Okay, let me get rid
Oh,
of that.
wow.
Oh,
It's like got a little candle or something.
so now we can look at the links, and I'll make sure they're going on while everyone is coming. And I'll be right back.
I see.
All right. So who should we start with?
Oh my.
We have to wait. Okay. All right.
Oh my gosh. Where did I just go? I lost everybody. Holy
Everybody.
shit.
They can see us. Hello,
Oh, there you go.
Jane Nizo, Kirk
see
Street,
ya.
Audrey Ivory. How you doing over there?
Catherine, you look like a pumpkin.
Who looks like a pumpkin?
Catherine
Who?
looked like a pumpkin.
I know, right?
Like a
With that little.
pumpkin. She did. She
She
looked like a
did.
little pumpkin.
Oh my goodness.
So where
Okay,
are you seeing the comments?
they're in
I'm
the
seeing
To
comments.
the right.
Comments to the right.
They'll
Oh,
come
I
to the
see.
right.
Okay,
Hey,
got
Chad.
it.
I'm
Rob,
on
Money Rob.
Oh,
I'm on
wow.
my phone.
How do we see
Hi,
who's joining?
everybody.
You go to
Huh?
comments.
It's over in the
to your
comments.
right.
Click
See private
comments.
chat, comments.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, got it.
Miami's here. Look at us. Hey, hi,
Look at
Chad.
these awesome
Audrey.
peeps. Miami
Audrey
here.
Ivory.
Jay Mizzo. Oh, yeah. We got
All
Mecca in
right.
the building. All right. Here we go.
Yeah.
Country
People are here.
Plains.
People are here.
Country. Hey, Country.
All right.
David Batu.
Okay.
David
So
Batu.
welcome, Princess.
Everybody
All
who's
right.
tuning in.
I should
Yeah,
say
we
that
got
all the people that are commenting right now, I would suggest that you tell everybody that you know to
Absolutely.
sign into this right now.
Right,
Yeah.
right now.
So just take a tweet or a Facebook and let all your peeps know to come on into this. Because
Yeah,
we
this
got
is
some
it.
important stuff to say.
Absolutely. And while we are waiting, if you want to do something, which is make a list of 10 people right here, it's an amazing tool where you can write down 10 people. You can just do it for yourself. But if you want them to actually email you the polling places for each person and the rules and the poll times and everything for every person that you put in your list, Move On will actually create an email for you where you click on each one of your friends individually that need to vote. And when you talk to your friend, you'll click on it and it'll say, oh, your friend has until 7 o'clock, or your friend has until this time to vote. So it gives you everything that you would need to know to tell somebody what they need to do to vote. So that's just a good information thing. And then Andre, I think you can tell us a little bit about why we're here.
We're here because we got to get out and vote. I mean, really, that's the bottom line. It's like this is the most important election of our lifetime. I know we've heard that a million times, but it's true. And I thought it would be a great idea. And Catherine, had a great idea to assemble as many of our, friends and family as we can to just speak about this right now because it's an extremely important time. And we know a lot of people out there are anxious, and you should be because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. And we're going to go around, let everybody, speak from the heart, speak about their perspective and why it's important for you to vote. And we hope that everybody can really exercise their right. I mean, my thing is that a lot of people died for this privilege that a lot of people are taking for granted. I mean, I have family members, I have people that I know that struggled, fought, and you know, my grandfather had his eyeball put out with a pitchfork. So it's just, the list goes on and on. So it's really important. You know, that's one of the many reasons why I'm extremely passionate about voting and being very active and very involved. But I'm not gonna, you know, I want to get everybody involved. So let's go around. You know, how do you want to?
Shall we go down the line that we did? Matt, give us.
I get to go first.
You get to go first.
Okay.
You auditioned, and it was fantastic.
First of all, I really want to say hello to all the wonderful people that are attending this at the moment, and to my brothers and sisters here with me on the screen, who I love dearly, all of them. I love all of you people out there, and we all know what's at stake here, right? This is a big election. We've seen things we've never seen before. This year is unprecedented in all our generations here. And it's really important to search your soul and really, you know, how do you feel right now? How's everybody feeling inside? Right? And reach inside there and then make your decision. You know, how are you really doing? How's everybody doing? How is this affecting you? Even those of you, you know, both political parties, you know, think about that. How's it affected your family? And make your decisions from there. And the biggest thing, of course, you know, that's important to me is healthcare, and the fact that we're the only industrialized nation on Earth without socialized medicine, affordable healthcare for everyone. It's unconscionable, and we need it now, and we need it like we've needed it for many, many years. And that's what this vote is about as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Lisa.
That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
I feel, well, I'm a crier, just so we know, so I will be over here, and that's I just have that. But
Me too.
You are?
I'm gonna be boo-hooing all through this, man.
Okay, good.
I try. Sometimes I try.
Okay.
But I really felt, you know, I mean, really just speaking to everyone. I mean, the division has gotten out of control, and I feel like one of the things we're trying to present here as well is unity, and us all being together is the strongest thing that we can be, is together. And there's so many ways that people try to divide people, and in the end, that's not what's really important. And Matt, what you said of how do you really feel? How is it really, if you stop, how has it affected your family? How does it affect you personally? If you take out teams, if you take out all of that, what is happening right now to the people around you and the people that you love? So thank you. Lisa.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm really happy to see a lot of people in the comments saying that they've already voted. So that's great, you guys. And just tell all your friends, just give them a little extra push and get everyone you know to vote. Just check in with people, and I'm doing that too. And you know, there are so many reasons to vote. Even just as a woman, women didn't even have the right to vote, you know, and to throw that away is, it's just ridiculous. And also, you know, we've lost a lot of people. We lose people along the way, and sometimes they don't get a chance to have a voice anymore, or before they left, or you know, and you can take them with you, and you can vote, and you can make it a strong vote and a personal vote, because it's really a necessity. It's a right, it's a privilege, it's And it's a necessity if we're going to get along the way we want to get along. Because if we can all agree, like driving on the freeway, we all agree that traffic has to go one way this way and the other way that way. You know, there are just simple things like that that we can agree on, but we all have to participate, or we don't know what the conversation is. So all I can do is just encourage everybody more and more to vote, and vote your conscience, whatever that is. I'm not going to say what I really want to say right now. Throw the bum out. Oh, you don't say that out loud.
Well, that was subtle.
Get to the polls. Vote early, vote often. All right, I'm done.
Moderator.
All right.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks, Lee.
Thank you, Lisa.
Spell it out. Jill.
Okay.
Yes, Lisa, throw him out.
I kind of feel like we're on Hollywood Squares or something.
Yeah, kinda.
Squares, you know.
Does that mean I'm Paul-in because I'm in the middle?
Yes. Might be, yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I think for me, this election has been really, it is the vote of our lives. I feel it. I think that, you know, I have a really big mouth and I'm very emotional about a lot of things, but I'm not wrong about, I know I'm not wrong about when people show up and their energy brings a bunch of other stuff. It's kind of like you're having a party and then that just bad energy walks into the room and they bring everything. I feel like with Donald Trump in office, we've had pestilence, we've had shootings, Parkland, where there were so many things that he didn't really fulfill. Children in cages and separating them from their parents, for me, is, you know, it's such a hot button issue. And the fact that they're still there really continues to bother me. I feel like healthcare, everything is on the table. I mean, take your pick. It's a buffet of problems.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's resolved them. If anything, I feel that he's given a lot of easy answers. And you always have to watch dictators who give, all the dictators, by the way, have always given easy solutions, but very few really pull it together and really fix things. I think Trump is making some moves that will really upend our lives. That being said, you have a right to vote whatever way you want. And I think this shows the true character of what we're made of as a country. And I really hope that all the gains that we've made, I know I saw someone say that Biden wants to get rid of the single payer, he'll veto that. At this point, I would encourage everybody to think that we also have different senators. We have the young progressives, Ilhan, AOC, Presley. We have a lot of wonderful people moving in the right direction, and maintaining the gains that we do have will enable us to move forward with what we can accomplish. It's really important to kind of assign all of this stuff. We're basically throwing our whole country's problems on Joe Biden's back. And it's going to be a lot of people helping to pull this back together. And I think we all have to be vigilant after the election as well. Exactly. We have to be vigilant. So I just, encourage everyone to get your family and your friends and think about how your decision could impact their lives. Will they be living with you next year? Because you might be voting in one direction that could totally upend their whole life. How will your life be impacted? So I think we have to think about how we're all connected on a bigger picture, because we really are.
Yep.
So that's my thing. Vote.
Oh, all right.
Totally.
Thank you. Thank you, Jill.
Nice one.
Well said.
So we're going around.
Well said. Well said.
Tony. All right, T.
Oh, it's on me. Hey, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for their heartfelt thoughts as we go around the table here. And one of the things that I think I would like to address, and one of the concerns I've had from the beginning is, again, it's been this COVID thing. It's been a woman's right to choose for themselves. I have a son who is of age now, his first time voting, and the stress levels from even my son, he was so young. This is supposed to be a momentous occasion for him for first time going out to vote, and the stress levels are so high on it right now. So again, what I don't want to see is the apathy that went on in 2016. Before that, people just didn't go out to vote. And as Jill stated, as Lisa said, whatever your thought or your preference is, it's up to you. Just get out and make sure you utilize your right to go out and vote. I'm totally, I would say, well, I'm heartbroken at the way things have gone in our nation right now. It's just human decency has left the building, right? I mean, you just look at the virus as it is right now. I don't care if you want to wear a mask or not. It's about you protecting another individual, whether you contracted or not, right? So when I see people come on my page or anyone else's page and fuss about, well, it's my right or my freedom to not wear a mask, it is, but it's not your freedom to come around and maybe give it to someone else. So again, it's just decency has gone out the window the past 4 years, and I would just like to see people just get back to caring for one another, and I don't know if that's going to happen with the current administration. It could flip, but I seriously doubt it. So again, my plea is for everyone to get out and vote. The revolution is being televised, and you are now seeing a new power generation. So we're about to go out here and get it, y'all.
All right.
Nice.
Thank you, Tony.
Good job, Tony.
All right, Wendy.
Thank you, Tony.
I'm civically minded, just to begin with. So my concern is that every generation moving forward have a civic responsibility to being involved in who they choose, that who's gonna run their life in government, local government, or federal government. And I have a 14-year-old son, and I'm leaving him with huge question marks. We all have question marks for our future. But right now, because of the amount of chaos this administration has put us in, the question marks are even more profound and detrimental and dangerous to our next generation and the generations after that. I'm voting as a proud Democrat because I want my environment, I want the climate to be dealt with. So for people that are on the fence about whether they're voting or not, I want them to weigh their choices carefully on what is the world that we're going to leave these people, these children. And my fear is if things keep going the way they are, that we're not leaving our kids with much. It's going to be dark days indeed. My mother died of COVID in May, and I was so infuriated when our president said that doctors were making a little bit more money if COVID patients died. And it sent me in a place where everybody needs to vote whatever their conscience is, but I'm here just to express what my motivation is as well. And my motivation is that everybody who's making these comments, who's on here and out there, knows that they have more than this one choice, that they can be taken care of if they look at the choices carefully and get informed carefully and be civically involved and teach your children to be civically involved and make choices that help everybody. I understand Republicans and small government, fiscally conservative, socially liberal. I love that idea. But right now we're in a world that's more in Trumpism, which is not fiscally conservative. It is something else. It is not a true Republican agenda. It's not. Please look at all of the information. This is a different, completely different platform. I'm worried about everybody. Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. I'm here because I want everybody to just do their homework. Do their homework. You have choices out there. You gotta vote. You have to vote. It's a right that is such a beautiful gift to every American to get out there and sit out there in a long line with your mask and a shield and some gloves and a beach chair and some snacks and some AirPods and your favorite podcasts and a book. Sit in that line tomorrow and vote. You're going to be okay. You'll be okay. That's all I got to say.
Thank you. All right. Thank you.
Well said. Well said.
Thanks, Gwen.
It's very good. Thanks.
Susanna.
Oh, thank you so much, Catherine, for putting this on, and Andre for putting the fire underneath us for me to finally find a place that I could actually say something, because I felt as though I've been sitting on my hands, and this existential dread and what's been, churning inside my belly for 3.5 years it needs a home. And so I'm thankful that this is the house that we've all been invited to, and thank you for a moment that I can share this. There's a lot on the ballot, guys. And for my beloved Minnesota, my second home, it's super important that you know that tomorrow is the last day to vote. Your vote will be counted. You can get out there and vote. Don't put it in the mail. Obviously, I mean, for the folks in Minnesota, because this is specifically for you guys, but also in America, like, go drop it off at a ballot box, drop it off at one of these places, hand in your vote with your hand, put your mask on, do your thing. But this thing is not over until all these ballots are counted, and they will be counted. Your absentees, all of it. It's the combined certified count. It will all be counted. So it's imperative that we offer this important period of time in our election history to just tell everyone that this is the most important election of our lifetime, probably our children's lifetimes.
Sure.
And it definitely was for my father, who passed away, my mother, who died of this horrible virus. Thankfully, they're not here to see how much pain and sorrow that this last 3.5 years has created for many, many, many families. For those children that Jill had talked about, 545 or so children still have no parents. They don't know where they are. That's unconscionable evil, that those children were taken from their parents, 3-month-old babies, that we don't have universal health care, that medicines cost so much money that you have to figure out whether or not you're going to be able to pay for the food you eat or the medicine that you can take, that our mail system isn't working well enough to send those medicines to those poor, beautiful old people like my mother, who I took care of, making sure she got her medicines in the mail. That no longer can happen on the regular. These simple things that we took advantage of, that's not really the right word, but like, these are the kinds of things that like our civil society should offer our humanity. And we've lost a bit of this humanity. Like, it's just so important that we just all get out there and we vote, and don't be afraid, because fear is leading the way right now. And when fear leads, we're in big trouble, and no one gets anything done, because then we start acting in caravans, and we start screaming at people for no reason, because they're not wearing a mask, or they're a different colored skin, or they're a different gender. I mean, I have so many issues that are so important to me, that are so personal to me, from LGBTQ rights to climate change, to Black Lives Matter, to healthcare, to the economy. It all matters. And it's all on the ballot. It isn't just one thing. It isn't, I'm voting for Trumpism. It can't possibly be that. None of those things that I just mentioned are in a Trump agenda. None of them.
Right.
We have the Supreme Court now. Nothing will go our way. What will happen if this election goes into a different direction than we want? Obviously, will look, I could go into my Noam Chomsky bit right here and really talk about like it's the end,
Right.
And that's the fear stuff. That's the fear stuff. Like it could be the end of it for all humanity, not just America.
Right.
That's how I feel about it. That's how important it is that we all have our vote here, that our early votes have been counted. That's fantastic. But there's a lot of people who haven't voted. And we're talking to you guys, to the ones who can't quite figure out what does my vote really mean? Like the Electoral College, that's going to take over. It's going to matter, like gerrymandering. And what does it really matter? Oh, it really matters. In a landslide, in a blue landslide, if we win this thing, we win this thing. Doesn't mean the job is done.
Uh-oh, we lost Susanna.
She disappeared.
She disappeared.
It was a great finish, whatever it was.
That was great.
No, it was really great. Somebody call and check on her. Somebody check on her.
I think she dropped the mic.
She dropped the mic. That's so good.
Well, thank you, Susanna, wherever you went. Thank you.
The Russians thought it was too good of a speech, so they just went,
really cool trick.
And then you had, and the NSA came along and watched.
I know, it's like we got to check on her.
Hello.
There she's back.
Oh, there she's back.
I'm here.
Hi.
We were talking about how you dropped the mic and you
I
just
didn't. It just went off on me. I'm sorry. I can't even see you guys now.
Yeah.
Oh no. Facebook, I'm telling you.
Well,
Oh my goodness.
Hey,
Okay,
I haven't
I'm
been
back.
on Facebook in 4 years. Gone.
I'm thinking about going.
Gone.
I can see you. Yeah, we can see you.
Done.
All right.
I can hear you.
Sorry,
I can
guys.
see you. That's all right.
Make sure you turn off all your microphones and all of those apps.
I suppose I'm.
Oh yeah, it's all gone.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm done. Please, I love everybody who's here. This is a collective energy that's really, really powerful to support people out there who need it. And we are all here to back you up in every way you decide you want to vote, but just get out there and vote.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. All right. Let's keep it moving, Bobby. Bobby, let's see.
Hey, yeah. I just want to say hi. I've been reading, all the fans, and we all wonder. People are saying Prince would be proud, or what would he think? But Prince was into preaching tolerance above all else. So I'd start out with that. That's all I can say is he would preach tolerance. I'm not sure going to speak for him or anything, but tolerance is on the ballot. And, healthcare is near and dear to my heart. And I learned a lot about the healthcare system. You have to look at, let's just say if you're strictly take the emotion out of this, the healthcare law. So on one hand, you're covering children till 26 years old. Now, I raised 3 sons. If that's taken away, just think about that. Now you're scrambling for health insurance for your kids. Yep. And then the other thing that's going on right now is that, sure, you can promise pre-existing conditions, but next week the Supreme Court looks at this, and if they strike down the Affordable Care Act, there's no pre-existing conditions. There's chaos in the middle of a pandemic. Healthcare chaos in the middle of a pandemic. It's just that doesn't make sense if you take a logical approach. Think about, I understand the flag and patriotism and the appeal that we all love baseball, mom, and apple pie. We all grew up with the 4th of July. To hijack that feeling one way or another is un-American, And you have to understand that healthcare is complicated. When they started Social Security, they didn't think it was make it. People were hating it. It was against it. It's going to bankrupt the country. And look at it now. Everybody's dependent on it. The whole country's dependent on it. So if you don't like socialism, we have Social Security, and we bailed out the farmers for $28 billion, but it's still our tax dollars. So all we're talking, it's not socialism when you're talking about making healthcare. If you go to the hospital, it's like $5,000 a day sometimes. Without health insurance. It's like that's why people don't go, and then they end up going to the ER anyway. And that's what the Affordable Care Act was fixing: is that everybody was going to the ER. It's like that's such a burden on everybody. So they created coverage out of kind of thin air. A lot of people didn't like that, but you have to create coverage, and by creating coverage, you ultimately save people's lives. And either that's a goal or it's not. I'm wondering right now tonight, if the goal of half of this, if you're voting one way, is do you really care about people's lives, or are you part of a political class, or are you caught up into some patriotic mystery that's not real? Because history is full of this. History is full of this, following a man over a principle. And I don't know, what Madison and Jefferson and Hamilton and Washington would think of the situation, but something tells me they'd be on the side of the people that want tolerance. And I really think that is on the ballot, is what the founding fathers meant when they wanted this country to tolerate. There is no in between tolerating and intolerance. You have to tolerate people that have been here for their whole lives too. Nothing makes an American different than an American. If something bothers people, fix it. The majority can't force something on the minority. It doesn't work. Listen to people. Get along. Figure stuff out. That's what we need to do. It's not like Jill said, if Biden wins, it's not going to take overnight. Things are going to be fixed. It's going to take a while to get things fixed, but you don't mess with healthcare tomorrow in the middle of a pandemic. That for sure. Just get through the pandemic with the guy who wants healthcare during the middle of a pandemic, not the guy who doesn't want healthcare in the middle of a pandemic. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bobby.
Yay, Bobby Z!
Yay!
Yay, Bobby Z!
All right.
Yo.
Thank you, Bobby.
Yay, Bobby!
I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
All right, Mo.
Beautiful.
First of all, I'm happy to be here with the Brady Bunch. Everybody else. And I'm going to try to beat through this because there's so many good points. And I can't see the comments that the fans and other people are making, but I'm just going to say this, folks. There's a lot of things on the ballot. One thing that I have learned, I'm broadcasting.
Are you typing? Is someone typing?
Oh, from my little town here in Arkansas. We have a tendency sometimes to just think we're this monolithic thing that we're just in our own space and this is just the world is right here and the world is here. But all of these people on the screen here have traveled the world over. I've been traveling, with Prince since the early 90s and everything, and went to a lot of places that I only dreamed of going. What I learned in traveling, folks, is that we're all connected. I learned that we're all on this planet and we're all together. A lot of people say, I don't worry about what's going on in Africa and they got all that stuff. Guess what, folks? When we mess with the world, when we mess with the planet and we upset the balance of things in it, it affects us all, man. Look at these hurricanes. Look at these things that are happening to the planet. Now, people say, well, you can't do anything about global. The planet will be fine. It'll be us that'll be jacked up, folks. We have to monitor and we have to do things to take care of each other and this planet. We have to be good stewards. And the other thing that happens, folks, is that the idea of America, to me, when I used to go, when I first started traveling, man, I just started traveling. I'm going around the world. I'm discovering like all the different languages and the different people. I didn't even know, like, how do you even listen to music? But you don't understand. But that's music has always been a universal thing. That's what one of the beautiful things about what we do is that it's such a universal thing that is all about together, all about drawing people together and being as one kind of thing. And I think what we have here is I'm witnessing the separation of with this nationalist agenda, this nationalist situation where we're only concerned about us and only concerned. That's folks. We might as well get over it. That the world is a smaller place because we can move about. And just like this pandemic, look at what happened. It came across the globe in like an incredibly rapid situation because we are globally connected now. We have allies, we have friends all over the world. The whole world is watching the United States in this election. Everybody's sitting on their chair, on the edge of their chair, like worried what's going to happen to the world based on what's happening in America. And that's a frightening thing when you think about it, that one place has that much power that we can just cause that much havoc and fear in the world. And we have to remember that we need responsible people in the positions of that much power. You have to have people that are not loose cannons and people that understand that it's about working together with allies, working together with people. When you build strong relationships, that's strength in itself, not isolationism, not just being off to your own. We gonna screw all of y'all and we're doing it the way we want to do it. I mean, I think we really have to look at just our position in the world in terms of how we just relate to folks and how we relate to things, and understand that this is a very serious job. It's something that you have to put some thought in. I don't want anybody that is at my level of smarts. I like smart people in the position of doing the types of things that need to be done at this level. We have to have people that understand this situation, and I'm all about everybody go and vote your conscience and all of that. But man, just look at what's been happening. You have to see that in this country that the policing and all of the things that are happening, man, this is not America. This is not what we, at least in the vision, see America as being, folks. And we have to get to where we are. I mean, when you got a situation where you can just run off a bus of an opponent off the road because you don't like what they're saying, and you want to start a civil war because your guy may lose. Really? Like, that's where we are now? We're at the point now where, if they try to take over, no, it's not a takeover. It's called voting. If he gets voted out, why is there a war for that? If he gets voted out, it's just more people showed up to vote for this guy than this guy. And so why are we talking about going and stuffing the refrigerator and I got to go buy extra supplies because the vote made this? It doesn't sound like America, does it? That sounds like some kind of banana republic.
True.
And so
Venezuela.
that somewhere in all of this, the civility comes back to where we can understand that this is a government that should be. I don't think we understand our power as constituents, as people that are in this situation based on how America is set up. The politicians work for us. All right, they're rock stars in their own regard. Mitch McConnell and all of them can go to their town and get free food all over the place because they're like big stars in North Carolina and Kentucky and all of these places, and Pelosi and all the places. But the bottom line is, it's about us, the voters, the people who put them in the place they're in. They're not rock stars. They're politicians. They're public servants. And we got to remember that. They can go home. They get a really great health care. They
need to remember it too.
Yes, they do.
They need to remember that.
They need to remember it.
They work. They need to remember they work for us. That they're not rock stars.
Right.
Absolutely. And so I hope that somewhere that we can remind them when people like all of them really at the top of the game, when they've been there for 40 years and they just feel like they're invincible. They feel like they have more power than the president because they don't have term limits. They can stay as long as they want, get as fat as they can on all of the insider trading that they can do. We have to take these people to task and make them accountable for what they do. And let rock stars be rock stars and you be politicians. And you listen to what the will of the people. They don't vote the conscience of the people. They line their own pockets and they do what they feel like doing. And I think that it's far past time for us to understand that we hold the power if we go out and vote, if we go out and do whatever it is we have to do to make our voices heard, folks. I can't help but to echo everybody that's been in here. And like Wendy was saying, do your homework, folks. Don't just listen to a bunch of parroted talking points and that you can just, that you get off of Fox or CNN or MSNBC or any of those things. Do your research. Understand what is being done. Because they'll shake the shiny light bulb over the shiny object over here while they're doing all of this other stuff on the back end that you have no clue about. And you think it's all about this little trinket and this little thing over here. Man, there's so much going on. If you don't know, you're lost. And they know it. And they will take advantage of it. So please,
they're banking on it. They're banking on us not knowing.
They're counting.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So take the time. Understand.
And they keep creating those crazy, ridiculous fantasy stories. It's like, I actually don't know if American people know what's real and what's not real anymore.
But you know what?
No, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Steve Bannon said that what you basically want to do, and excuse me, folks, but his whole thing was throw enough shit at the wall to where you keep them inundated with it. And look at what has happened. Think about any time in American history where some of the things that Mr. Trump has said, I don't know if you remember a few years ago when the gentleman was running, he was doing pretty good. I think he was from Connecticut, Howard Dean. He got killed because he went, hey!
Yeah, exactly.
Because he was excited. Because he got excited.
You can't do that.
Yeah. Can you imagine that?
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
And that was it. He was done, folks. He was
I know. Wow. He's like, wow.
They were like, no. This guy's not presidential. He can't win.
No.
He can't go. We had to kill a perfectly smart guy that got sent home because he got excited. And now we got a guy who, when you look at Sarah, is it Sarah Cooper? Just say the same words. I watched a little parody of them with Helen Mirren on the bus, and it was as funny as it was. I was sitting there thinking, like,
it's terrifying.
That is him talking.
It's
That's
terrifying.
him.
Exactly. It's him.
It's him.
It's him.
And it's you have this dichotomy that's happening in your head. Like, how could he have? That's enough.
Do your homework, folks. Do your homework. Learn who the Federalist Society is. Do your homework.
Exactly.
So, folks,
do your homework.
Please
vote. Vote, people.
I mean,
vote.
the Bob Woodward tape should have been enough, in my opinion. A couple of things should have been enough, but
it should have been.
The level,
slam dunk.
The level of forgiveness that this man got.
This guy was impeached. He's been impeached.
Yes.
He's been impeached.
That's right. And the only reason he wasn't completely impeached and thrown out is because the Senate is dominated by the Republicans.
Exactly.
Because we need to get 4 seats, guys.
Yeah, which is why, I don't know if you done, Morris, because I didn't want to cut you. I don't want you to finish up with what you were saying.
Well, the thing is,
all right.
What they're saying is absolutely the case. It's like when you have a person like Trump would have never been able to do this on his own. He's had help from the likes of McConnell and the likes of from the very people. Now I want you to understand this. from the very people. All you got to do is look at what they've said.
Good Lord.
But this is why people really can't stand politicians, because they will lie to your face when there's tape. We can go back and watch the tape of you saying that he's a liar, he's a dirtbag, he's a woman, all of these things that you can say, and then the very next cut, you're like, yeah, that's a great guy. I thank the president for his leadership. It's like you just called your kids ugly, and you just said he was a lying sack of snot.
But your wife
But-
ugly. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, like, bro, like for real, like which one is it? But we all know that they just lie. And that's the thing that just like, I hope when they, whoever does take over, they make it a crime for people to just sit on the television in front of the American people and just lie when we know you're lying. It's just crazy.
The media should just turn off as soon as they, like, you know, if I have to hear, well, Joe Biden prevented people from coming and wouldn't have wanted people to come into the country, and Trump shut it down. Those are lies, and we know that now. We know that's not true. But then
Total lies.
there's George Snuffleupagus talking to them like, you know, I hate him. And there he is, and they let the campaign manager of Trump just get away with it. It's like, turn him off. Go, okay, bye, see you later. Next story. You know,
Girl.
I can't
I agree
stand it.
wholeheartedly. I agree wholeheartedly. The media itself, and MSNBC, CNN, they're all guilty of it, right? When you know there's balls, you fact check it, and you keep running the same story over and over again. Shut it off. Shut them down.
We're used to crazy now. That we're numb with 5 years of crazy every day. You got to realize how crazy it is every day, but we're numb to it. And tomorrow, hopefully, is the last day that we'll put up with it. That doesn't mean there's going to be easy transition or any. But
it's not. It's not going to be.
Tomorrow
We need to know one way or another where we're going.
Folks, anytime there's a wall, I just looked, before we all went live, they told me that there's a wall going up around the White House, folks. The People's House, by the way, the People's House.
Yeah.
And there's a wall. I guess
People's
that's the
House.
wall he was talking about he was going to have built. It's going up. Folks, this is like a bad Michael Bay movie, folks. It's like a fence going around. What is a force field going around the White House
To keep the people out, right?
What do you think is going to happen? Like if somebody's coming in to get them, or he don't want. I mean, like, folks, this is not America. This is crazy what we're seeing right now.
He's going to be like Tony Montana, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
We just got to hope that that guy, you know, the guy that came and got Tony, we got to hope that guy is somewhere lurking in the background.
Yeah.
I mean, man, it's just we just got to look at how I never in a million years would have thought. And man, look, trust me, I was doing Madison Square Garden and Trump was backstage. I shook this dude's hand, man. I'm like, oh, okay, it's the billionaire dude, Trump. No big whoop. I mean, it's like celebrities come to shows. They've been to the Revolution shows. They come to our shows. That ain't no big deal. All right. But this guy now is the leader of the free world. So-called leader of the free world.
Yeah,
He has decisions that he can make that affects all our lives. That is the difference between being a billionaire playboy and being the president of the United States.
Morris, this man has the codes.
Oh, yeah.
I can't
He
even
has
think
the
about that.
codes.
He's got the
I know.
football that goes where
He's
goes.
got the football. And guess
until
what?
January 20th.
Wait,
Well-
get this, guys. The guy who carries the football got COVID.
Got COVID.
Yeah.
He called
Okay.
it a reason.
So
But
who's
the
carrying it
football-
now?
Who's carrying it?
Yeah, and as you guys stated, he has till January 20th. So there's a lame duck session, right? Once all of this happens, either one way or the other, right? And that's when a lot of, as Mo was saying, a lot of stuff happening on the backside. You wait. He's got 3 months to totally jack everything up in those 3 months.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they have a backup center carrying the football.
We got to hope.
But regardless of that, every bully that I've ever confronted growing up, when you punch them for being a bully, they usually back down. Right, guys?
Tomorrow,
But this
hopefully,
bully has
Tomorrow,
a-
hopefully that will be the case.
Well,
I got
That's all I can say.
I got one more person here to go.
Oh, me? Listen,
Sorry.
my main message is basically I just want people to understand that you gotta vote for everything. You gotta vote for Senate, you gotta vote for a House, because democracy is no longer what it used to be. Democracy has now become, unfortunately, a team sport. It's like, you know, and I hate to say that. It breaks my heart to say that, because I like the idea of, you know, a fair fight. But the reality is, if you know, because Republicans have become the messenger for corporations. That's just the reality. You know, I mean, voting voting for a Republican at this point to me is like voting for your boss to pay you less money. It just doesn't make
Yeah,
any sense to me.
true.
But you know, and so it's really become, you know, a situation where you got to vote not just for president, but you got to vote for senators, you got to vote for House members, you got to
Yeah.
vote for Congress people, you got to
Local.
vote all the way local, all the way down the line. You know, I mean, because I mean, this country has come so far from where it was. We were making progress. We were evolving. I mean, look at the screen. Look at everybody that you're looking at right here. We embody, we represent unity. We come from all different parts of life, you know. And I remember, you know, when we first started putting our band together, you know, some folks in the community was like, you know, why are you hiring you that guy when you should be hiring this guy? Why are you hiring him or her? Why when you should be? It's like, you know, the bottom line is because he's a bad man, her. She's a bad man. You know, it's about talent. It's not about, you know, it's just about unity. And so, you know, people get caught up in this whole, you know, so many different things that got nothing to do with where we should be. We are evolving. You know, we have evolved, and right now we're going in the wrong direction. And it's in somebody's best interest to try to make us go in the wrong direction. And we have to fight. We have to fight with everything we got to continue to evolve. Because the reality is, we have a destination, you know, and the destination is peace, unity, and all the things that we always hoped we'd get. Songs that, you know, this is what we are creative people. I think everybody's creative, but we write songs about all of this stuff. You know, the beauty of you know, a world where one day, you know, we'll live in a world where, you know, we won't have to worry about stuff like this, where we don't have to wonder if the president is going to blow the world up, or is he going to tell people to do, you know, stuff that makes no sense, bleach and, you know, shoot a light up your butt to, I mean, it just, you know, on and on and on. Stupidity. It's like, I mean, we've gotten suckered into a world that makes no sense. And you know, I'm going to just end by saying everything everybody said so far. Really, you know, I was going to say something that, you know, each one of you guys were going to say, except you just said it for me and better than I probably could say it. So I really appreciate where everybody's coming from. And I got to say, I love everybody here. And I really appreciate, I think it's beautiful that we've come together. And, you know, I really, you know, I'm hoping people really get out and vote. And again, I agree, you know, it's hard for me to think about somebody voting for Donald Trump. You know, I'm sorry. I have to say that.
I
It's just
know. Me
hard for
too.
me to do that because what, you know, you have to ask yourself, why are we in a freaking pandemic? You know, why are we, you know, I mean, think about, I mean, I'm just going to put this out there. Think about it
Say
for a
it.
second.
Go on,
I mean,
preach.
yeah, I'm just going to say this for a second. Think about it. Now we owed China. We were in debt with China for, you know, billions of dollars. Okay. Yeah. Now, and believe it or not, you know, a lot of people think that's a bad thing. That's strategy, because when somebody owes you, you know, money, or you owe somebody money, if they want you, if they ever want to get that money back, or if you're going to pay that money back, that's a strategic, you know, situation, and you can use that as leverage. But Donald Trump, the big supposed businessman who ran everything into the ground, he don't understand it. So he stiffed China like he stiffed, you know, a contractor that put his you know, painted his gold leaf toilet seat. I don't
Right.
know. But the bottom line is he stiffed them. And guess what? Now, Japan, Pearl Harbor, okay? All of a sudden we got a virus. Now, didn't nobody just trip and drop that virus somewhere and fumble it and drop, you know, I mean, so you got to wonder, how did this really happen? you know, it just doesn't make sense to me. So when you're voting for somebody that's doing stuff that makes no sense whatsoever, on down the line with Turkey, I mean, I could go with Russia, and you know, not showing their bank accounts or their tax returns. You know, there's so many red flags that, you know, you got to ask yourself, really, why are you voting for this person? Why would you
Right.
want to do this to your country? If you're really a patriot, if that's really your thing, you know, unless it's something else, and then we need to deal with that. But if you're really a patriot, this person is not patriotic. He basically, you know,
He's
called
not anything
yeah,
like that. He's
he
not
called
even
soldiers,
religious.
he called
All you
soldiers
gotta do
No,
invisible.
he's nothing. He's
Yeah,
whatever those Trumpers want him to be, and that's what he'll
Exactly.
be.
He's
Well, what
their
That's what he'll
mirror
be.
in a weird way. Yeah.
kills me
Yeah.
is that when you see individuals or it's all about the economy, it's about the money, right? And when you really look at the facts, right? During this pandemic, he lost over 20 to 30 million jobs. And then they show recently, we gained back 11 million. You're still in a $20 million hole, or 20, you know, unemployment hole. And you're
But
acting like,
that's, you're right. I'm not cutting you off. It's,
tear it down into the ground because of his handling of all of this.
Yeah.
So
but
don't
the,
talk about your economy was the greatest ever, and what you did for African Americans was on par with Abraham Lincoln. No, listen, man.
Bro,
it's true.
here's the thing. All you got to do
about to go.
is you can't listen to anything that he says. You know, anybody that would just lie and just while you can stand out and verify that just they lied to you and say that it's raining and you're standing in sunshine. That's just okay. That's you can discount. All you have to do is look at other places. You know, they're doing the scorched earth situation now. They've given up on the pandemic. They're saying that we can't control it. Well, that's funny because there's some other countries that took measures that are doing fine right now. Australia hasn't had new cases. They locked down.
Melbourne was really
nobody
tough.
likes it.
Yeah.
Nobody enjoys being locked up. But you have to take some draconian steps sometimes.
That he's not going to do that because his concern is only about the stock market.
Well, of course,
Exactly.
we know why he's not going to do it because he thinks that the stock market is his litmus. Everything that he's about.
But the feds are
most
propping
of
it
the
up.
regular
It's not
people
even
aren't
real.
in the stock market.
Yes,
It's not
that's right.
real.
And
It's
that's
not
Right.
real.
and you have to be a
Propped
fool
up by his
not
buddies.
to use the stock market
Totally.
as your barometer for how well you're doing. It
Yeah.
corrects itself because what's going to happen when it crashes? Oh, it ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm out of that one.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
he's
if
gonna
you're
lie.
gonna ride it, bro, you got to ride the bull. That's what.
But the
that's what it does.
GDP numbers that he was talking about, they weren't real. They're taking an estimation
No.
over an annual. They aren't real because if you do the math and you do 33 and a third in our quarters, we're still negative 11, to be honest.
Baby girl,
That's
all you got to do
how it
is
is.
think about the fact that this man blew some. How do you lose? How does a casino close up? That's all you got to tell me.
Yeah, thank
How
you.
the hell you bankrupt the casino?
But don't
That's
forget
a
what he did to that
ATM
woman who
machine.
but to see how relentless and evil he is, don't forget that old lady at that one casino in New York or New Jersey who would not give her house up. And Donald Trump, no, he started to build around it, and he would drop poles and things, shit in her house. She was like 70 or 80 years old. She was a widow. And he got her completely, like, she was like, I'm not leaving. There's no amount of money. This is where I lived with my husband all my life. So he tried to get eminent domain and he couldn't do it. But what he did was he used to build things and have them drop things through her roof. He terrorized her till the day she died.
Man.
I lived in New York. He was a piece of shit then, and he's a piece of shit now.
God, he's a monster. He is a monster.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
Well, folks,
I'm sorry.
vote.
He's just a
Go out
monster.
and
I mean,
Vote.
I
Monster.
can't call him
This
human in
country.
any way. And I feel
Me
terrible.
either.
There's so many people out there who love his humanness. You know, he's our guy. He's been sent from God. He's Jesus Christ himself.
Oh,
And
God.
it's like I only see a monster. I mean, everything from 26 rape allegations to
I know. And
children that in cages to people dying, to have 250,000 people dead of a pandemic that,
Mhm.
the greatest moment for him is like there was a ban in China. Like you're banned in China. Like,
Yeah.
what? Wait
Yeah.
a minute. Like,
You know, there's an old
that's not
story.
what
I think
stops
it's
the
called
pandemic.
the golden calf.
No.
The golden calf. This guy, the
Just to say,
golden calf. These
I'm
people
sorry,
are
you know,
worshiping
the
the
voters
wrong
They
that
are.
God.
it's
I mean,
your
I feel like
opportunity
Yeah,
to
it's true,
hear
Bobby.
this
I
blue
feel like he gets.
blue wave talk.
I hope so, guys, because I feel like he gets stronger with each death. Like it's an offering to the god Moat or
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Malak
yeah.
and all of them. I
That's
just
what it
feel
feels
like
like.
it
That's
feels
what it
like
feels
each
like.
death he gets bigger
You don't
and
feel
bigger
like
and
Country,
bigger.
Right.
we're
like
The
people
more
gotta
you
get out and
hate
vote.
him, the bigger he gets.
Yes.
Like people,
Yeah.
people got to get out and vote because I'm not
Yeah.
going
Got to get out and vote.
to make
You
this
gotta get
guy
out and
some
vote.
sort of big scary
That's
monster.
it.
We just got to get
For
out and
those
vote.
of you who couldn't vote
Yeah.
in 2016 because you didn't like the candidates, you got to get out and
just
vote.
get out there and
Yeah.
vote.
I'm gonna just
Vote your
quickly
conscience.
in my
Look at what's
little
happening and vote from your heart.
Look, you Prince fans in northern Minnesota, you know, we understand that the mines, you know, we're part of the whole feel here. We're purple, and we're a purple state. So you got to really think this through. You know, I know that he's come up there and you know made you feel really good, and might never see a president again. And Air Force One was really cool and everything, but got to really think about your life and your and the people around you. You know, it's not just about one person or one situation. This is about all of us, and you got to vote, and we got to
But the
do stuff
future of
together.
the
I'm gonna-
future of this country, folks, if we don't realize that the very fabric of what this was built on, and then granted, I'm a soul brother in America, man. It ain't never been like that even playing field kind of a thing for most of the brothers for most of this time. When you ask somebody to make America great again, when you ask what year that was, guess what? It's always been fucked up for us, whatever year it was, for the most part. But it was better times at some points than others. And what I'm saying is, I think the promise of America, the promise of democracy, and the promise of what it could be like if we adhere to what the Constitution was kind of saying, if it was like that was something that was applied to everybody, then we could be in a place where we'd be moving forward. But if the Bible is clear. It says a house divided cannot stand, based on, to paraphrase, a house divided can't stand. And this country is almost split right down the middle, folks. We can't continue to go as a country with it's down the middle. We have to get together. We have to be to where we can put partisan crazy aside and just say, what's the good of the country? What's the good for all of us that we can all move forward? It used to kind of be like that. You know, Tip O'Neill and Reagan was like cool. They had their battles, but they got along. They was cool, man. Now it's like these politicians hate one another. You know,
Yeah.
people hate the
Yeah, they do.
libtards
Yeah.
and the Republicans or whatever, the Repulsicans or whatever. It's like it's
Here he is, folks.
level now.
The
The
kitty.
star of the
All
show.
starts to build.
Oh.
We have to find that somehow.
So I'm going to do a quick, I guess, moderate thing. And that is if everybody who is commenting, if you guys, well, let me explain first. We have to overwhelm the vote tomorrow. If we haven't done it yet, we have to overwhelm the vote tomorrow. Oh, look at all these cats. So that there's no question. So that
Yeah.
tomorrow night, that there's so much clarity in the choice that the American people made that there's just no question. The only way we can do that is by making more people come out. For every ballot that they're trying to throw out, and they are trying to throw people's votes out, for every ballot that they try to throw out, we have to come through with 3 more voters. And we need to do that now, because if we don't have those voters out already, we need to come up with 3 more voters. And this screen that you see, this beautiful, beautiful screen with everyone up here, is Jill calling me talking to Andre talking to Morris, to Matt, to Bobby, to me talking to Susanna, to Tony. Every single person here reached out to somebody and brought them in and brought them into this screen right here to spend this time with all of you guys. And we're asking you, if you can, just comment, just in the comments, just put 3 people that you're going to talk to tonight. Who will you talk to tonight that you think maybe they aren't going to vote. Maybe they didn't vote. Maybe they're super busy and they'll forget to vote, because every one of those votes can make up for somebody who didn't get to vote, somebody's ballot that got thrown out. And we have to stand up for those people, because our president is not going to do it. The president that we have now is not going to do it. He's not going to stand up for people. He strategically wants people not to vote because he knows you can't win if everybody votes and speaks their voice. And, I just have to say, with this, one thing that we haven't talked about is arts and music. And I think that one of the things that brought us all together here is music and the arts. And I think everybody here had the opportunity of a country that never valued it enough, but valued it a whole lot more than it's valued now.
It's not even recognized from this White House. That's another scary. Sorry to interrupt. No, it's scary.
Gone.
It's
No
recognized
concerts,
so much he
no
can pay some rappers
authors.
to come.
No,
Nothing.
the arts are ignored.
I
They've been
mean,
How is
ignored.
anyone
pay
going to order
somebody
an
to come
instrument?
and just say, "Hey, I'm for Trump." I mean, what's that all about? I mean,
Oh, with the old rappers?
how you
That's
gonna
taxes.
pay
Taxes.
somebody? Then they're gonna. I don't. I'm sorry.
It is. It's
I don't even know
taxes
what to say
because
about that.
Maybe.
the millionaires, the zillionaires, and of course, it's just a tax thing.
Yeah, guys who moaned about paying their child support. Okay.
Somebody I know.
Maybe.
It blows my mind. It blows
Somebody I
my
know.
mind when I hear-
Somebody I know wrote a song called "Money Don't Matter,"
Yeah.
and it
But
really.
it blows my mind when I hear people who are over or in their 60s or 50s or whatever said they have never voted before.
Really?
That blows my mind, right? So
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a son and daughter who are both who are at the polls, who were just ready to do their civic duty. I mean, these young kids are getting in forces, and they're making their voices heard. And I hope that continues again.
Yes.
And
And I don't know about every
and
state. I don't know about every state, but I know in Minnesota you can walk in tomorrow and register and vote. So
Yeah.
look at your state, because it could be that for you. So everybody who's come to Minnesota for celebration, for anything before, if you had that friends you met at Electric Fetus, if you stood outside the gates at Paisley Park, if you went to a concert, if you stayed at someone's house, if you stayed at someone's Airbnb, check in with them tonight and see if they're voting, and let them know that let's face it, I think that we try to focus on creating those experiences around love, music, and togetherness. And so if that's what we're going to continue to be about, we need to speak up for it.
So
And one thing I want to say is that, I've noticed that we've lost quite a few fans from COVID. And I've seen everybody commenting, and
Yeah.
it's like it's heartbreaking. And many of these people also can't afford to be sitting in their house with the herd mentality that Trump wants to do. I can't even imagine what what's going to happen, because going forward, it's imperative. We have people in breadlines here. We really got to get through the next couple of months while they're counting this election and support each other on it, because I really do feel that this is going to be the real putting the metal. What do they say? Put the metal to the gas or something. But
Pedal
this
to the
is gonna-
metal.
yeah, it's going to be
Metal.
really. We're going to really
Yeah.
get to see our own
Yeah.
fortitude here, our own who
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah.
Susanna keeps getting knocked off. Are you
I
there,
know.
Susanna? We're gonna head out.
Cat she's got over there.
I think we've said what we came to say, but I just want everyone to be able to say their good night and last, little vote. Yes. Vote. So
Vote.
Susanna, go, and then everybody can phase out.
I will say
You may wanna
one
let me
thing
say it
before.
first in
Wendy,
case.
you're the other twin, Wendy.
Oh, go ahead.
The most important thing tonight is that you vote, and that we love you, and we want you to vote, and we've all voted ourselves, and the fear didn't lead the way, and we're hopefully making the difference, and we showed up, and you got to suit up and show up.
Okay.
Oh my God, she got put it off. Mic drop.
Mic drop again. All right,
Jeez.
Matt.
Yes.
What last
Your
word?
final thoughts?
Oh,
Final thoughts?
final thought. Oh, well, just get out there and do it. I mean, everybody's got to vote. I just want to congratulate someone who said 15 members of their family voted for the first time.
Wow.
You got to repeat that. I didn't
Voting.
hear that.
That's great.
I forgot their name. It went by, it scrolled by. But anyway, just wanted to say that. So people are getting it. And it feels like it's going to be a blue wave to me, but nothing's in the bag. We just stay positive. Stay positive through this. That's all I can say.
All right. Lisa.
Yes, if we can generate some blue and some love. I mean, we're all here because we care about it. We care about you all, and you know, from everything from voting to wearing a mask to doing this online and talking to everybody. It's all because we love you and we care. And you know, I think everybody who's here and commenting and everything, I think you kind of get it. And if everyone can, you know, do the legwork and go ahead and talk to your friends and see who's voting and see who's not, and you know, go with them or take someone with you, whatever it is. But we just need everyone to just show up and use their voice. So do it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa. All right, Tony.
Yeah, as everyone said, vote, 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 vote. Right? Grab all you can, folk. Grab your grandma, grandpa, children's daughters, aunts, uncles, you know, nieces. Hell, drag your dog with you. I don't care. You can't vote. Bring everybody. And again, it's getting the vote. Remember last time, it wasn't about the popular vote. It was this electoral college. So we've got to make sure that we come out in masses, y'all, and make sure that it's done. Again, it's a right, it's a privilege, and it's something that everyone should take seriously.
All right, Wendy.
I'm going to speak to how anxious most voters are tonight. And I think that everybody should either draw a bath, eat a good meal, be with family, be with friends. If you're social distancing, call someone that you love. Watch a really silly Netflix show. There's a lot of anxiety out right now. And it's like, it's our night to take care of ourselves. A lot of self-care right now. I think that's really important, is some self-care. Yeah. Heading in tomorrow, it's going to be really nerve-wracking for the next 3 months. So do some self-care. Try and continue to do self-care right now. Someone else, there's a guy, Eric Rogers, that did a comment here, and he just said, can we talk about Trump's healthcare was treated by aborted cells? I'm just going to leave that out there for a lot of people that don't understand that what he was treated with were
stem cells.
fetal cells. They were stem cells from aborted cells.
That's
from
right.
Aborted
fetuses. That's
yes.
Right.
So I think that was very interesting to see that someone was really wanted to talk about that. I understand that was amazing to know, and there's no one's talking about that in the press. He's not talking about that either. Trump.
Nope.
Well,
self-care.
All right. Bush administration banned all that stem cell research. But anyway, I just want to say one more thing before you go to the next guy. Someone here just said, for your information, all Republicans are smarter. We tell pollsters we voted blue, LOL. Is he serious?
Yes.
Probably.
That's why.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
But that speaks a lot to who he is. Now, not every Prince fan is a diamond buyer.
Right.
You know,
Right,
we all know. We all know about how people can play both ends against the middle. Please vote. I think before you do, this is a time of self-reflection. You really get to make a decision about who you want to be and who you are. This is really, I think this is what this is about. I feel that I am very happy to be here with everybody in this circle, because no matter what has gone on with us or whatever, there's still like this love and this bond, and some kind of people can come together and stand for something that's good. Because here's the beauty of it. I know each one of these people have like golden souls and spirits, or we wouldn't have found each other in this lifetime. We wouldn't be here together, because we're the jam, we're the bomb. No, so anyway, all I want to say is I know we're on the right side of it, and we wouldn't have been put together for that. We all have amazing emotion and passion, and the girls and everyone saying they love you. We do, we really do. And I hope that you go out and do the self-care and practice care for other people, because it will be okay. You know, it's just decide which journey of the road we're going to go down. It's important. So please vote.
All right. Bobby? Final thoughts. You're muted.
Oh, he's muted. You're muted, buddy. You're muted. You're muted.
Listen, yeah.
There you are.
Oh, I see a couple people over here that say they're voting for Mr. Trump, and I'm not trying to irritate you in any way. I just want you to think about this. So 1918 they had plague, the Spanish flu, and everybody wore a mask, and everybody got to go to the baseball game. So right now, because the president basically politicized it for vanity reasons, he didn't want to wear one. I just want you to think about that for a minute. That is that country over party or self? The president is supposed to be George Washington and lead the charge. He didn't want to wear one. He didn't think it looked good with various dictators or queens or kings. But let's just think about that sentence. I don't want to wear one. If he would have just gone the other way and said, you guys got to wear one and we can have football or basketball or whatever. It was such a simple, non-political thing to do. They did it 100 years ago in 1918. That's what Woodrow Wilson said, put on a mask. I mean, it's like you didn't have a mask, you got in trouble. It wasn't limiting liberty, which got twisted. It's grandma and somebody else's grandma. It's common sense. There's a lack of common sense in this argument that we've lost the last 5 years. Logic and common sense have gone out the window. You need to come back when you tomorrow wake up, go in that voting booth and do the right thing. No, you don't have to tell anyone, like Matt saying, go the other way, come back to blue and do the right thing, because you know that these aren't right. Things aren't right. And it would be simple to just do this together and we can go back to life. We're not going to close it down. We want to play. We want to play for you.
Absolutely.
If you all get together, we can do that. If we don't, and half of you don't, and half of you do, it's going to take years before we can play for you again.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
We want to play. That's my final message.
All right. Thank you, Bobby. Morris.
Well, I think Bobby pretty much nailed it on the head and just took the snuff out of anything I got to say. But folks, what I'd like to first say is to all of the fans, and look, thank you all for the many years of support for all of these groups. Prince was an incredible artist, and we all owe him a great debt for the position that we're even able to come and sit here and talk to you guys that you may not otherwise know us. But the bottom line is we love all our fans, regardless of what you decide to vote for. What I always hope is that, like Bobby said that you can apply some just common sense to the situation and understand that, folks, this is not rocket science. It's just a simple human thing. Either you fall on one side of the issue or the other based on logic and common sense. That's all we're talking about. And to me, we've gone beyond that. Common sense isn't very common anymore. We're talking about war, civil war, because of choices. If he loses the election, but folks, we got to rise above it. Understand that we're all Americans, that we all love this country, and that we want to see it thrive, and we want to see everybody be able to live and let live, and realize the dream that's America. That like a lot of people used to, when I used to travel, like I think I was saying earlier, when I would travel, people would be like, "Oh man, you're from America, man. I love America. I want to come one day." Until we got to a place where we're a joke, we're a laughing stock. People look at us like we're crazy. Like, how can it be? I can't count how many times people would ask me, "How can it be this happened to America?"
Yeah.
And that's a very telling thing as to where we are. And hopefully we can reverse the course and gain back some sensibility, and gain back some humanity, and understand that we have to understand we are all connected. But thank you all for listening. Thank you all. Hopefully, we haven't made any enemies. We just want what's best for, I think, this country. I think everybody wants a situation with, like Bobby said, man, we want to go play, man. We've been cooped up, and we can't ever do it. We won't do it. If everybody just says screw it, I'm over it. COVID don't give a flying farfig about you being over it. It doesn't care. This is the one thing that they can't lie about, because it will go around and circumvent the lie. It will do what it does. Whether you can say we're rounding the turn, we're doing all right. People dropping. The hospitals are full, folks. And if this thing, I know you don't want to listen to these crazy scientists and doctors, but Fauci is saying we're in the worst possible position to be in going into the winter, folks.
Yeah.
Now, my mom had COVID, just like Wendy and Suzanne. She's in a nursing home. I couldn't go see her anymore. She's since perished. The rubber hits the road when it's you and it's yours. Don't let it happen to you like it happened to us. That's when it gets real. When it's, oh man, it's happening to me now. Don't let it get to that, folks. Stop the crazy, get off the crazy train and fix this madness. We have to do like other places so that we can stem the tide on all of this stuff. All the places where the strong men want to be, like it doesn't exist and it's a joke and it's this. Guess what's happening? They're getting pummeled. So we got to be smart. I hope that we can all understand that we want to see everything get made. Thank you for your time, and we love you guys.
All right,
Thank
Morris.
you.
I'm going to say just a little bit. I mean, and then I'm going to turn it over to Catherine. But what I would say is, when you go in to vote, you got to think about what kind of world you want. I mean, really, think about what kind of world you want to live in. I live by a very simple code. God is my conscience. I let my conscience be my guide. That's it. And I try to keep it simple. I mean, and when you're doing something wrong, and when you're doing something right. You know, if you look at what this person who's been running this country, who's found a way to screw things up so badly, it takes a special brand of human to do what he's done. I mean, I hate to be small, but Halloween, come on now. How do you mess up Halloween? But no, all joking aside, it's just you when you go in, you have to decide what kind of country, what kind of world you want to live in. I mean, I always felt comfortable. I felt comfortable traveling the world. Like Morris, like everybody said, going places. I remember me and Sonny Thompson, we both grew up in the projects. We sat down in Switzerland drinking a beer, talking about, we wasn't supposed to be here. I mean, when you think about, when you put it in that context, but the world, life, people have evolved to the point that, it's some people, some small-minded people want to keep the world some kind of way where some people get to have and some people don't get to have. I mean, that's that's not gonna stand. That's not gonna last. So I'm not gonna go on and on. But all I would say is, when you go in, just think about what kind of world you want to live in. I mean, do you want a world where you get to go out and see people like us play? Because I can't wait to get out and play too. I mean, I love this is what we do. This is what we, this is, I mean, and we see that, how much joy it brings to people all around this planet. everywhere we go. I mean, one of the things, not to get too far off, but I took a 27-year hiatus. And then thanks to you guys, you guys kind of brought me back into kind of getting back out there on a major level. Obviously, I did some stuff.
Let me just say one thing, Andre.
Hold on. I'll be done in just a second.
Oh, I was just going to add to what you're saying. So I'll add to it when you're done.
No, go ahead.
That what we all do for a living, we are also on the bottom of the totem pole in terms of getting back to work. All of us are out of work. And the people who are out there voting, we have to understand that we're not talking from some high platform of where we're doing great through this. We all, this is our skill set. This is what we do for a living, and we can't do it. And there is no money, there's no federal funds being put into this community so that we can do the thing that we love to do. And time is going by, and we are all older with the same kind of passion that we did when we were younger, but it's going by quick, and we can't get out there. Jill and I can't get out there and sing on microphones. That is the thing you cannot do. You just
I'm
can't
about to
sing.
move in
And
with
so
a couple
for a
fans.
singer,
I've seen their houses.
Right, exactly. That's about it. We can't even do that. But just to say, Andre, this world was in a very different place, and we are all a special group of people that have been brought together through this. And it just needs to be said to the fans out there that none of us are working. We're just as bad off as everybody else is. But we just have this ability now to collect. Maybe. I mean, and I'm a single mom raising 2 kids. It's all, it's not easy, but
no, it's
one
not.
foot in front of the other.
In many ways, maybe worse, because, and that's another conversation that we have to have maybe another time, because the music business is an interesting thing right now. And,
exactly.
I think a lot of people have no idea. They're under some illusion that, we're millionaires and quadrillionaires or whatever else. And we're just folks trying to do the best we can, trying to make ends meet. And that's the bottom line, But I just want to say thank you to everybody. And I really appreciate everybody coming together and all the fans. I mean, everybody that's on and all that. I've been looking at all the comments, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. We got to get out there and vote. We got to get out there and vote. And I can't say it enough.
Vote.
I mean, I'm not trying to promote anything, but I did do a couple of things just to try to inspire people, a couple of songs and a couple of videos that I put out in the last couple of days, because I just, this is what we do. This is what I do. That's all I got. It's like, anything that I can do to try to get people to be inspired to get out and vote, get out and vote. So that's it, Catherine.
And be safe voting.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
It was beautiful to see everyone.
Love you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Love you.
Love all of you guys.
Love you guys.
Wear your masks. Use your hand.
Love you guys.
Bring it to each one of you. Love you.
Love you.
Love you. Love you. Yes. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Nobody wants to go.
How can I get out of this?
It's a George goodbye.
How do we go? Can you disconnect me?